Hey guys, Shane Harder here from Seeking Unemployment. This is the real estate investment show where we learn how to become gainfully unemployed together. Now, today's episode is part 3 in a much larger series where I ask a wide variety of investors from different walks of life the same exact questions to see what's the same and how do they view things differently. And so today's episode is all about investing now or waiting to see how things shake up. So there's a lot of uncertainty going on still with coronavirus and how this is going to affect the world economy because it's so different. And so we're trying to look at that and see how they are doing things. Are they just going along the same as they always have, or are they pivoting things a little bit, or maybe they're timing things and waiting to see how it shakes out and then moving from there. So let's find out how they're tackling these tough issues.
The best time to invest is right now and 10 years ago. Like it's real estate, man. Everybody's got a place to live. That's not changing. So if you're gonna get started, do it today.
I'm sure that question is going to vary depending on what part of the country you're in or what market you're in. For me personally, in my market, we're all in, 100% go.
So I would say that now is not a time to invest in anything other than cash flowing rental properties. That being said, I think that, and I do think there's going to be good deals coming up. And I think kind of the name of the game is be ready to pounce on one of those, because there's going to be opportunity and we're already looking for it. We've been into this virus thing like 2 months or whatever. Yeah. And I think there's going to be some landlords that are undercapitalized, that have tenants that aren't paying rent. So they're really struggling. And I think they might list and sell. So I think now's the time to, if you do any direct to seller marketing, now is really the time for that. Yeah. There's ways of getting the seller information, contact information, and just going directly to the seller, not going through brokers. And it's a really, really good time to be doing that.
Well, we started our business in 2006, but we didn't really start buying large apartments till 2009 as the market was crashing. I think that's what's happening here. CoStar just came out with a report talking about the upcoming delinquent loans that they're projecting in all food groups of commercial real estate, including apartments. And so I think the time to buy is always if you find a great deal. But I think the market is crashing right now, and I think there's a lot of pain that's going to be felt in the multifamily market among everywhere. Though it's happening in retail and in office and industrial everywhere. But I think that pricing will come down over the next few years. So I don't know that they've come down yet today, but I think they will.
I think that there is a lot of wisdom in being conscious of what's going on around you and not jumping into anything too quickly and everything. So there's some wisdom in that. That's one thing I really love about wholesaling, is that the transactions happen so quickly and you yourself are not obligated to anything. You don't have anything at risk. If you do it properly, you don't have anything at risk. And so whether the market's going up, going down, especially if it's going down, then if you've entered into the wholesale deal correctly, it really doesn't matter. There's no perfect time to begin investing. There are better times than others maybe, but even right now where we're not quite sure what's going to happen over the coming months, a lot of people do think that we're going to start seeing a lot of foreclosures, and we might. I'm not an expert at that. I'm just going to be ready no matter what happens. Yeah. But if you're wholesaling, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to get the deal under contract. And like you said a bit ago, as long as I've got cash buyers lined up ready to buy that type of a deal, then I'll wholesale it. I'll make my quick buck on it and I'll move on. I won't be obligated. Even if the deal goes south because we get some bit of bad news in about the economy, it's no longer my issue because I've wholesaled it out.
There's a saying that goes, don't wait to buy real estate, buy real estate and wait. And I think that is one of my favorite sayings of all time. It's always a good time to buy real estate. Now, at different times in the economy, it makes sense to do different strategies as opposed to others. So if I was maybe looking at if I was renting and maybe think of buying my principal residence right now, I would probably wait on that a little bit. Most markets, I think we're going to see at least a little bit of a correction downwards. If you're looking to, let's say, flip homes or go to auctions once those open up, it's like, yeah, absolutely. If you're looking at, there's a very small percentage of people that are looking right now at doing real estate. Most of them are, except for the people who've been doing real estate for a while. A lot of people that are thinking of getting into real estate are not doing anything yet, or people that were just starting. Novices aren't really doing a lot yet. And also, there's not a lot of inventory on the market. So the people that are on the market right now, a lot of them are very, very motivated. There's also a lot of motivated people that aren't on the market yet. Like, give you an example. If I were to go on Airbnb right now, there's a whole bunch of people there that own properties that have nobody probably renting them. Nobody's traveling right now. There's a lot of very hungry people on there. So if you were to go and contact them, you could find, there's a million different ways to find deals. And so there's the people that typically find an excuse, and they'll say, oh, well, I don't want to do it now because of this. Like, for example, they'll say, oh, well, obviously it's COVID-19, we're hunkered down, it'd be hard to find deals. Well, it's a little more difficult to find deals now than it normally is, but guess what? When things are when the market's good and there's lots of deals, well, guess what? Then interest rates are going to be too high, so you're not going to do it. And I'm in Canada. A lot of my Canadian friends says, oh, well, the Canadian dollar is too weak now. You're always going to have, it's never going to be that perfect storm where every planet is aligned perfectly for you.
Yeah.
And the clouds are going to part, and it's going to be time to do a real estate deal. It's always a good time to do a real estate deal. So my advice would be to get out there, figure out, if you're not educated on how to do real estate investing, start doing that. If you don't have a lot of money, start raising money. This is some of the stuff that I teach, by the way. But there's also a million ways to do real estate with little or no money. And this is the best time. If you've got no money, this is the best time to do real estate deals, because you're never going to see more motivated sellers than you've got right now. So yes, get started right now.
I think it's a fine time to invest in specific strategies. But if I had a magic 8-ball that worked better, I'd be able to answer the question a lot better. All these investments just come down to the numbers you personally feel you should be working off of on a spreadsheet. So, you can make it what you want it to make it. And I think it's easy to talk yourself into thinking something's going to work, or something's going to appreciate, or this area's going to survive the recovery, or it's going to boom. And we all make those judgments every single day. The judgments I'm making on that are, I think there will be a significant reduction in the worth of homes in a lot of areas. But in the areas that I'm buying in, I already have stuff going there, and my strategy's still going to work with my margins, even if it comes down a lot. A lot of people hate those types of areas, but I try really hard to do stuff to make it still work for me. Like, I don't know. So I would not be investing. I'm personally, because I feel it's risky, and I have no idea if I'm right or not. I'm making the bet that it's too risky to go for appreciation. So all the areas that have been booming, they might still be booming for a few more months. But I think that when the market reports catch up in 3 to 4 months, what we're going to see is the numbers have dropped by a couple percentages. And I think that we're going to see that the days on market was a lot longer. There's a lot more inventory. And then the true numbers are going to come a few months after that, when we see job losses and we see the rents that haven't been paid and the foreclosures that are coming from all the people who, took their 3 free months of no payments.
Yeah,
when all
really.
that catches up, I think that that values are going to drop. I think rents are going to have to drop with it because of all the Airbnbs that are going to be flooding the market with rentals.
Yeah.
Airbnbs have taken over, the last few years. Airbnb purchases have just totally driven up the prices of houses by investors. With all these people taking the typical investor inventory off the market.
Yeah.
And those people are, still could work out great for them. But if the money's not coming into the market, I think they're going to then turn around and try to put rentals on the market like they are right now. It's going to continue, and I think that market rates will drop a little bit as well. And so if you're in an area where your house is worth quite a bit and you have a larger mortgage and your rents aren't that impressive, and you're really, your rents maybe were just covering your mortgage, I think people are going to, a lot of mom and pop investors are going to start dumping at that point as well. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of areas you probably don't want to be taking that risk on investing in. And I think that's going to create a lot of opportunity in a year from now, unfortunately. And I don't mean to sound so cold about it, but I try to be cold when it comes to business stuff. It's just easier to think.
All right, guys, that wraps up this video. If you'd like to connect with us and partner on some multifamily deals, click on the link below and we can send you all the info on how to get started there. If you'd like to check out the videos from the beginning of this playlist, click on this link right here. To check out the link that Google wants you to watch, click on this link right here. And lastly, if you want to make sure you see the future videos that we'll be posting in the same series, click on this subscribe link right here. You'll be all set to go. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.